That coffee worked its magic then.
Look at me. Blue tit.
That's really funny.
Each week, it's not a week, it's an episode. I do that every time. Do you know what I quite like about this?
Mm-hmm.
You get to see your own mouth open. Watch. It's good, isn't it? Do I look like Australian like 007?
It's like battling with myself. So that's those.
Is it me?
Yes, it's you.
That's me, Abbey.
Just Henry VIII began his dissolution of the monasteries, and St.
Why do you think I changed it? Kay,
Yes, Dan.
I've got a great idea for a new segment.
What's that?
A quiz.
A quiz? A quiz? What, for knitters?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Knit or Forfeit. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to a wonderful new show. Yes, it's Knit or Forfeit. Each episode, over the next 4 episodes, Kay and I will take it in turns to answer 10 questions. The first 6 will all be knitting based, and there'll be multiple choice, just like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. There'll also be 2 questions on Star Wars and 2 questions on history. You'll see the questions appear on the side of the screen, and hopefully you'll play along at home. Now, you do get some lifelines, and the lifelines are 50-50 and also Ask the Audience. And the way we're going to ask the audience is with Instagram. Knit or Forfeit is our great new show, and it's time to meet our first contestant, and here she is. Tell me your name, sweetheart, and where are you from?
What are you doing?
Well, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it properly.
Why dress like that?
Because that's how game show hosts dress.
Right.
Don't you think?
Okay.
Kay thinks I look like an Australian 007.
Because he's got shorts on.
Yeah. Shall I show you? Do you want to see my lower parts as well as my upper
Camo
parts?
shorts on.
Here it comes. Yes. There they are. What a great look.
And you used to wear DJs every night.
I did. I used to wear them a lot. Anyway, enough of this. It's time. I think you need to put your knitting down. You will know when the competition starts because you'll hear this sound.
Babadum.
And you'll know when the competition is finished because you'll hear this sound.
Banana.
And just in case anyone is uncertain of the rules, I'll be asking Kay 10 questions today. The score will appear on the screen, and then that score will then carry over to next episode. I will then get asked 10 questions. We'll do that for 4 episodes, and then whoever is the winner gets to knit.
So we amalgamate the scores.
Yes,
right.
we add them all together. And the winner gets to knit with some, is it Anzuli yarn? Thank you, Mr. Benjamin Crudwig.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So, Benjamin, you are providing us with the winner's prize.
Right.
Yes. So the winner, do you think that's a good prize?
Well, I'd say.
So the winner gets to knit and the loser gets a forfeit. Now then, have you decided what my forfeit's going to be?
Yes.
Do you want to tell me?
Yes.
Go on then.
You have to knit a Ricky hat.
No. No. Oh no, can't we do something different?
No.
Anything.
No.
I'll do the dishes for the rest of my life.
No.
I can't lose this now. In that case, if you're going to make me knit a Ricky, I'm going to find the most poolying in this pooly yarn in the history of pools. I'm going to speak to Cara because she knows all about pooly yarn.
Dispose of it?
No. You have to knit with it. And then worse still, you have to wear what you've knit with it.
Oh, no, that's not.
And we need photographic evidence of you wearing what you've knit with.
Just once?
No, once a week. Oh. So Kay's forfeit is, it's pooly yarn time, and my forfeit is Ricky hat knitting time, so I'm not losing this.
So mean.
Are you ready, folks, for your first question?
Right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We know the quiz has begun because we hear this in.
Babadum.
Here we go. In which episode did we introduce the What's on Your Needles for viewers? Is it episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, or episode 5? And you may look at the question.
Well, I know what the question is. I don't need to look. That's not going to help me answer it.
You need to know the answers, though.
I don't know. This is not a knitting question.
Is knit? Is this not related to knitting? What's
well, I'm
on
going
your
to bear
needles?
this in mind when I write my questions. Mine were all proper knitting questions. Well, it's a complete guess. Oh, I'll go 50-50.
Okay, 50-50. So 2 will disappear.
There's no point asking the audience that because it'd be a guess.
I love it. You're playing tactics.
Right.
That's called genius. 50-50.
Right. So it's either episode 3 or episode 4. Right. Well, we started doing it ourselves in episode 2, didn't we? I'm going to go with 4. Episode 4 is my final answer. Is it right?
She's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So it is 1 point.
Total guess. Got it right.
1 point to Mrs. Jones. Yay. She's a genius. Well done. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready, folks, for question 2?
These are much trickier than I expected.
Are you drunk?
I did sound a little bit drunk.
Are you playing at home? I hope so, boys and girls. Okay, here we go with question 2. Who was the first ever What's on Your Needles?
These are ridiculous questions.
Is it A, Molly from the Homespun House podcast? Is it B, Casey Andrew? Is it C, Deb from Fondant Fibre? Or is it D, Sally?
Well, I'm going to hazard a guess, and I think that's totally not Molly's surname.
Why do you think I changed it?
Right. I think.
Remember, you have an Ask the Audience.
No, I think I know it. I think I feel that it's B. I feel like it's Casey Andrew. Yay!
She's correct. Question 2, exactly right. Well done.
Thank goodness it wasn't Molly, because I wasn't going to
Mrs.
say her
Jones.
surname was that.
Okay. Question 3. Can you name the odd one out? Is it owl, mallard, chaffinch, or blue tit?
The correct answer is chaffinch.
Take a look at the question. Are you sure it's chaffinch?
Yeah, because it's bullfinch is the colourway. Have you got it wrong?
Are you absolutely just look at the questions and make sure that you're.
Well, I'm not entirely certain on mallard, but I know it's not chaffinch, it's bullfinch because I've knit with it. There isn't a chaffinch colourway.
Okay. So, do you want to give your final answer?
A final answer, C, chaffinch.
Okay. So we have a final answer. It's now locked in. There's no going back.
Oh, it's wrong then, isn't it? It's not wrong though. Ah,
She's got another one right.
yes.
Yes. I was doing a Chris Tarrant there. Are they really sure? Do they really know the
I have
answer?
them all correct so far.
She does. She has 3 out of 3 in this first ever round of knit or forfeit. Okay. Are you ready for question 4?
Yes.
She looks thinking there's like slight concern in
I
the
need
eyes.
to win.
This is quite cool. Okay. Which member of Hogwarts staff said he read Muggle magazines because he liked knitting patterns? Is it A, Dumbledore? Is it B, Hagrid? Is it C, Professor McGonagall? Or is it D, Severus Snape?
Oh my gosh! I've got no knowledge of this. How did you even find this out? Well...
Are you playing at home, people?
It's not going to be Snape, is it? There's no way Snape would want to read about knitting patterns.
Now, if you want to do an Ask the Audience, you can take a snap of this, you can post it to your Instagram, and we can come back to this question at the end of the round.
I think it's the kind of thing that Hagrid might say. It's kind of a cute thing to say, isn't it? You see, you've said he there. Professor McGonagall is a woman. So have you given that away?
Well, of course.
So it's not Professor McGonagall. I don't think it's Snape. I can't imagine it's Dumbledore. My instinct is telling me it's Hagrid.
If you're uncertain, why don't you do an Ask the Audience?
Right, okay.
So, Ask the Audience. Unfortunately, I think it's always going to be slightly tricky for anyone not in our remotely close to our time zone.
It is.
To be involved with Ask the Audience. But unless you're a real night owl. So Kay is now taking a picture of the question.
Right.
She's now going to post it to Instagram. And what we will do is we will come back to question 4 later on. So you ready for question 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, these are horrible questions. I cannot believe all the lovely questions I've made up.
Which English monarch made Fair Isle jumpers into a fashionable garment in the 1920s? Is it George IV? Is it George V? Is it Edward VIII? Is it George VI?
Oh, these are just horrible.
And do bear in mind that you don't just have one lifeline. You can use those lifelines more if you want to.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. So if you want to go...
Well, I need to do 50-50
No
because
problem.
I've not got a clue. I mean, in the
you think it
1920s.
You think it through.
When did he abdicate? What year was that?
Okay, so I've taken away 2 wrong answers.
So it's either Edward VIII or George VI. I don't know if I know who George VI is. I've heard of George V. I'm terrible with stuff like this. Right, I'm going to guess at Edward VIII.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
You want to stick with that?
Yes.
It's correct!
Oh my
Yes!
gosh, I cannot believe it.
She's got it right. I need to just check the scores. So you currently have 4 out of 5, but we're obviously coming back to question 4. Well
That
done.
was a total guess.
Okay, are you ready for question 6?
Yes.
Where did the Argyle knitting pattern come from? Is it A, adapted from an ancient Greek pattern? Is it B, adapted from Scottish tartan? Is it C, a pattern designed to use up yarn scraps? Or is it D, adapted from a Roman sock pattern?
B.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
That's your final answer?
Final answer.
Okay.
Scottish thingy.
So Kay has said B, adapted from Scottish tartan. What did you say at home? Shout out the answer. Because Kay's got it right!
Yay!
It is adapted from Scottish tartan. Yay!
That's all 6 knitting questions, isn't it?
It is
this
all 6
is where
knitting
it all
questions.
goes wrong. I think that's more of a history question.
It's knitting though.
You're so...
I blended both. It's history and knitting. Now it gets fun. So now we're on to 2 Star Wars questions. Are you ready?
Lord help me.
Are you ready at home? Question 7. What was the name of Boba Fett's father? Is it A, Cad? Is it B, Bosk? Is it C, Greedo?
No.
Or is it D, Django?
It's Django Fett. Let me think. Bosk is not. Bosk is some sort of creature. I remember that. What's the third one?
Greedo.
Greedo. It's not Greedo. Bryony likes Greedo and she's got a little thing of him. He's another creaturey thing. What's the first one?
Cad.
That's Cad Bane. So that can't be Fett because he's Cad Bane. So it's got to be Jango Fett.
She's correct.
Yes.
And you will all have witnessed there firsthand the reason why Kay and I are married.
Because I knew the names.
Because you knew the names. What you have just established with all our watchers is your knowledge of Star Wars is extremely high. Because not only did you know what the answer is, but you also knew who the other characters were.
I did.
That's genius. I'm super impressed. Oh. Okay, question 7. Are you ready for question 7? I'm ready for question 7. It's question 8. Let's do it. Because we just had question 7. Question 8 is, where is Princess Amidala's home planet?
Okay.
Is it A, Naboo, B, Coruscant, C, Alderaan, or D, Corellia?
Well, it's not Alderaan because that's Princess Leia's, isn't it? I think. Naboo is in the song, isn't it? It's in that song that you like by that man.
With Al Yankovic.
Yeah. So there we go. It's not Corellia. I don't think. You see, what was the fourth one?
Corellia.
I've not heard of that one. I'm going Naboo.
Sure.
Yes.
Final answer.
Naboo. Final answer.
It's correct. She's doing very well. For those of you who don't know, Coruscant that's like the main city planet, which is where the Empire is based from, and right. It's like the capital. Alderaan, you are correct. It's Princess Leia's adopted planet,
right?
And Corellia is Han Solo's home planet.
Ah, okay.
So you currently have every question right.
Yes.
So we have 7 out of 8.
Even though your questions have been completely unfair.
Oh dear.
This is where it all goes wrong.
We're now moving into history questions, and these history questions cannot be totally random. They have to be linked to the podcast. So if you had watched all the episodes of the podcast, you will be able to answer these questions.
I have watched the podcast.
You have? And not only that, I will try to ask questions which...
You will have whittled on about it for ages.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Okay, so
right.
The pressure's on now. Question 9. Name one abbot of Fountains Abbey.
Oh, Lord above.
Is it A, Adam Sedber? Is it B, Thomas Leigh? Is it C, Thomas Thirsk? Is it D, John Nym? I've asked that question slightly wrong.
Right.
I put Thomas twice when I should have said William once.
What?
Is it C, William Thirsk?
Right.
Or is it D, John Nym?
There isn't a Thomas there.
There isn't. I'll change it so you can see.
I'm going Adam Sedber.
Remember, you've got 50-50.
You're just saying that to put me off.
But you have got 50-50. You don't lose a point. So
are you saying that to help me out, though, by implying that that's the wrong answer?
Why would I do that? I am the quiz master. And there's no way I'm knitting a Ricky out.
All right, 50-50 then.
Okay, so I'm going to take away 2 wrong answers. And leave you with those 2.
Oh my gosh. It totally wasn't Adam Sedber. It's gone. Right. William Thirsk or Thomas Leigh. You see, Thomas Leigh's throwing me off because they're Leigh brothers. That's kind of throwing me off. William Thirsk sounds familiar, but is that because you've got a Thirsk in the book that you're writing? Isn't there a Thirsk in there? Maybe that's Thomas, and maybe that's why you got confused. I'm going to stop whittering, and I'm going to go for William Thirsk. Final answer.
Okay, you preempted my question.
I've said final answer.
It's correct!
Oh,
yes!
No way.
Well done.
That was completely a guess answer.
Adam Sedber was the abbot of Jervo Abbey.
Oh, right.
Or one of the many abbots of Jervo Abbey. Thomas Lay was the solicitor who was sent to Fountains Abbey by Oliver Cromwell to dissolve it. William Thirsk was the second to last abbot at Fountains Abbey, and John Nym is the abbot of Easby Abbey, which we're visiting later on in this show. So you are correct.
Cool.
Do you want to... You've got one more question, so you can leave it some more. Yeah, I mean, let's leave it till we've answered the next question, then we'll come back to question 4. You're getting quite a lot of people playing here. This is good.
It's a consensus that it's Dumbledore, and I've got specifics as well from people on who he said to. People are marvellous.
Okay, are you ready for question 10?
10, yes.
I'm ready. Okay, question 10. Which was built first? Is it A, the Colosseum? Is it B, the Circus Maximus? Is it C, the Pantheon? Or is it D, the Trevi Fountain?
Well, I've been to them all. Well, it's not the Trevi Fountain, no way. Let me look at the answers. I don't think it's going to be the Pantheon, because that's still completely standing as is. I mean, it's a fantastic building. It's going to be either the Colosseum or the Circus Maximus. The Circus Maximus, there's just nothing left of it. Well, you can still see the outline, can't you, in the Colosseum, obviously. Right, go 50-50. I don't think it's going to help me, because I think it's going to leave A and B. If it doesn't, then that will help me.
Yeah, well, what you need to remember is you should never say what you've just said. Okay.
It's left A and B.
Well, yeah.
I know. Well, so it's the Colosseum or the Circus Maximus. You see, I want to say the Circus Maximus just because why would they have built that after the Colosseum? Because the Colosseum is obviously much bigger and grander. But did they do, thinking about it, did they do chariot racing in the Colosseum? Was that just used for gladiatorial things? Maybe they didn't do it, but then they must have. Right, I'm going to go Circus Maximus.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer. It's going to be wrong, isn't it? Final answer.
It's tense. She's done so well up to this point. Is this the point where I take the lead on the next episode? Of course it isn't, because she got it right! Yes! The Circus Maximus was built approximately 500 BC. It was originally a wooden structure and then changed to a stone structure. The Colosseum was built in 76 AD. It was finished by Vespasian. And the other, what was the other two? The Pantheon was built in around about 56 BC. It was built at the time of Augustus by Agrippa. And the Trevi Fountain was, of course, built in the 1700s.
Right, go back to the other.
Okay, so
I have an answer.
Currently,
I have an answer. Absolute consensus. I've got.
Have you got no one saying
no
anything else?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 people in however 7 minutes have said Dumbledore.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
So you're going with the audience?
I'm going with the audience.
So the question is, have the audience just lost care point? Or
no,
have they just
can't
gained
possibly.
care
Can't
point?
possibly.
You'll have to come back after the break. No, I'm only joking. That's what they would do on...
They would. We'll go to a break.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Maybe we'll have to introduce that on a later episode. She wants to know the answer? Oh.
It's wrong.
No, it's right.
Oh.
Yeah!
I'm going to thank everybody.
Amazing! Ladies and gentlemen, the first episode of Knit...
It's a clean sweep.
The first episode of Knit or Forfeit is in the books. Kay has scored 10 out of 10. Next time, it's my turn. So it will be 6 more questions on knitting, 2 more questions on Star Wars, and 2 more questions on
You better
history.
prepare yourself, because now I've had those horrendous questions.
I'm going to prepare myself.
Banana.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. And the question I have for all of you before we go is, are you ready to knit or forfeit? Well, that was a bit of a shocker. I hope you like that. We've got no idea if it's any good yet or not, because we've not actually filmed it yet. So we have no clue what score Kay got.
No.
I'm sure you did very well, though.
Well, I probably will have got 6.
Maybe.
Hopefully I get the knitting questions right.
Or maybe not. Of course, all of you will now know
whether I did or not, and I could be looking completely ridiculous because I only got 2.
That's quite funny.
It's just a bit of fun.
It is just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But also, as well, I think that there could be ways that we could get lots of involvement going on, because as you'll have seen in the Knit or Forfeit show, that there was some Ask the Audience that Kay did. So again, we've got no idea who helped you out.
No.
It's going to be wonderful to see who it is. But now it's time to find out, Kay Jones, what's on your needles?
Just want to say something that I don't. What's on my needles?
Yes.
I have a few little things. And the first thing is a hat. Now, you will look at this yarn and say, hang on, wasn't that a shawl last time?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yes, you're right. It was a shawl last time. I had a little bit of a frogging episode, I suppose. And
you've actually wrote about that in the Bakery Bear News.
I have. I had a bit of a dilemma because, I'll talk about it a bit more in finished objects. I had an issue knitting on something which was very large, and it
Not a pair of my socks.
No, not a pair of your socks, amazingly, although they were very large. And it caused me some really bad shoulder problems, and I think it was a combination of the weight of yarn, the size of needles, and the weight of the project. But in any case, I'll talk about that in finished objects because I did finish it. Hallelujah. But I had another large shawl on the needles. If you remember, I was knitting a DK weight version of my sock knitter shawl, and I was knitting it with this yarn, which is the John Arbon Knit by Numbers Merino, which I showed last time. It's colour 28, I believe.
Is that what?
It's what lovely Zena gave me, and this was part of my dilemma. Because, let's have a look, yes, it's colour weight at 28, Knit by Numbers 28, it's beautiful purple, gorgeous. And because the yarn was a gift and I'd cast on something with it, I didn't feel like I could frog it, and I don't know if that sounds ridiculous or not.
It does.
Does it sound ridiculous?
Utterly ridiculous.
Because
as long as you're using it.
Well, I know Zena will be saying knit whatever you want with it. But I'm the sort of person that when I cast something on, I think I've got to finish it. Even if there's a problem with it or whatever.
If you put it in the bin, now that would be bad.
Well, I'm clearly not. And, the other thing was, this yarn is absolutely gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I said last time how lovely this yarn was.
So I think everyone would agree that it would be far better to frog something you weren't happy with amazing yarn than to carry on with a project you weren't happy with amazing yarn.
But these are the things that I battle with in my head. But so I battled for a few days until eventually I said, you know what? I'm just going to have to do it. So I did, and I'm glad I did. Of course, I'm glad I did, because that's how it works. So I cast on a Ricky hat. Yes, you can all see Dan's face. The joy of the Ricky hat. But do you know what?
And we all now know that my forfeit is to knit a Ricky hat. She's doing this.
Oh, no. Oh, right, okay. I
Yes.
thought it was something else. That's brilliant.
No, my forfeit is to knit a Ricky hat, and your forfeit is to knit with the most pooliest pooling yarn that I can lay my hands on.
Can you believe this?
I can.
I'm having nightmares already.
Yeah, well, it has to be, the forfeit has to be a serious forfeit. It can't be some
And I made the silly
wishy-washy.
mistake of telling him the type of yarn, the brand of yarn that I historically have seen pull the most in socks.
Well, I've actually forgotten, so you have to.
You've forgotten? Oh, well, I won't. Maybe I won't remind you.
I'll ask the audience.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. Tell me the pooliest pooling yarn you can. Yeah. So, we know Dan's love of this hat. However, I've got a Ricky hat, as you know, and I love my Ricky hat. And I thought, do you know what? I don't care what you think.
Fine.
I am rebelling against my
Go for it.
natural nature of being affected by what people say, and I'm doing what I want with this beautiful yarn. So there's it cast on. Oh, that's not a very good view of the join at the back, is it? We'll do that. So I'm knitting a lovely Ricky hat with it. And the other skein, because I don't know, this won't take all of this skein, I'm sure, but it'll use a good proportion of it. But I have got another skein, and the other skein I'm going to make a matching pair of mittens with it. So I've got a hat and mittens for the winter that match.
Are you going close-fitting mittens or slouchy? You see, why can't there be slouchy mittens?
Because they fall off your hands. You can't have slouchy mittens.
Sorry.
You're being silly now.
Or a slouchy sock.
Well, I don't knit hats really, really slouchy, because I don't like them when they've got tons of hat going on at the back, you know? So I will probably knit this. I mean, the pattern I think says to knit it to, is it something like 9 inches altogether?
Well, I wouldn't know, and I hope to never know.
It is 9 inches. You knit it 9 inches from the cast on edge. I won't knit it that long. I'll probably do it to 7. I think that's what I did my last one. I'll measure my last one and see, but I think I did it to 7. But also this yarn is, what I did for the last one was I doubled some fingering weight yarn, and I think that actually makes a worsted, doesn't it, when you double fingering weight, whereas this is a DK, so I think it will come out that little bit smaller anyway. So that will please you. So that's my first thing, and I'm just knitting it exactly to the pattern, so that you do, like, effectively, I say ribbing, but it's all garter, but you knit 15 rounds. It's a free pattern, so I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You knit 15 rounds of garter in a smaller needle, so that effectively it does look like a rib, you know, when it's on your head. So I think I'm at 12 rounds garter ridges there.
I'm going to have to find a way, if I lose, knit or forfeit.
Well, you will lose.
I'm going to have to find a way of making it so that...
You might enjoy knitting it. It's only knits and pearls.
Yeah, but the problem is... well, it's fine. I love it.
You don't like the finished product?
No.
That's why, yeah, I know.
No.
It'd be hilarious
It
because
truly is a forfeit.
I'll get a lovely hat because he'll not want to wear it. So, Dan Jones,
Yes.
what's on your new board? You've nearly finished that.
Yeah, I have. I'm really struggling, and bear in mind that I'll be moving on to another one after I've done this one. I'm really struggling with the. Well, I'm not struggling. I'm just finding it much more hard work this time. The twisted rib on the top. Yeah. I don't know whether... I don't know.
I wonder if it's because you've got the weight of the project underneath it.
Yeah, I suspect that's definitely the case, because it really wasn't a problem. Nearly finished the handbrake cowl with the twisted rib. And this is my Brit along and my favourite colour knit along as well entry. Although I can't enter, can I? Cause
no.
It's not fair.
We're just participating. We're knitting along.
Although, oh, do you know what?
You can't enter.
I've totally fallen out with Ravelry and project posting, and maybe I need to try the Woolly app.
I've never used that. I do update. I mean, I'm pretty sure my page is up to date at the minute.
I think I just fear that the Woolly app will be as clunky as the Ravelry pages. I don't find it just personally an easy thing to use, so I've not updated it with projects for a long time.
Right.
I think because I've been doing...
Oh, well, I can do it for you.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, so it's my handbrake cowl. I'll have finished this, I would guess, within the next... When do you reckon?
Well, you might finish it tonight, darling. I mean, how many rows did we do? Can you remember?
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We only did 6 rows of ribbing.
And how many have I done?
1, 2, 3. That's your 4th.
So I've just got 2 more.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll finish it today then.
Yeah.
So next time.
It's beautiful yarn. I mean, it's come out so nice. That.
Yes.
It's lovely and soft. What was in it? Can you remember? Superwash BFL. That's why it's so lovely. I love BFL. I think it's my favourite.
It is.
It's really soft, isn't it? But it's got something about it. It's not as, I don't know. It's just got a bit more.
It's very warm.
It's very warm.
Just with my hand in there now. I mean, and not itchy at all.
It's not itchy. No. BFL's not. I don't think BFL's itchy at all.
I really like that. It's great. So, what else is on your needles, Kay Jones? That's nice yarn.
I know, and I don't think this has had any movement at all since last time. How bad is that?
Well, it's still lovely to see it.
But I'm still going to show it because
I want to see it anyway. Are those for me?
Yes.
I really like that yarn.
I know, and that's all I've done. It's these socks for Dan that I'm knitting.
That looks like...
That?
No. Well, it does. But
kind of similar.
That reminds me of a desert in
You're right.
Arizona.
It kind of does. It's the opal yarn, Opal Van Gogh, and it's the sunflowers.
That's what I'm going to wear when I get my posse together.
Yeah,
I've already picked out my posse members.
Isn't it pretty? I'm holding that right in front of my face, aren't I? It's super lovely how it's knitting up. I really like it. But I honestly don't think I've done anything on that in the last, what will it be, 2 weeks? That's terrible, isn't it? But I'm just knitting the standard 72 stitch sock that I do for Dan. And I use, for the heel flap and the toe decreases, I use Erica Luda's pattern of Snape's stockings. I don't put any of the texture in or anything, but I use that for the heel and the toe decreases, and it's really excellent. It gives that lovely rounded toe like the Hermione's pattern does. So I'd really recommend that if you're just knitting vanilla socks on a 72 stitch count, and you need a heel and a toe. So I'm just thinking about whether I take these away with us, because that's looming, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think you should do whatever you need to do to finish them as quickly as possible, because I want to wear them.
You see, he does this.
I don't recall doing that for a long time.
Well, clearly
that's the most positive I've been about a project, and I'm pretty positive about all projects.
You are. It is lovely. I've been. You can't get this Van Gogh range any longer. So I really do want to get back to these because I was loving knitting on them, and I am loving knitting on them, and I just got sidetracked by getting some stuff finished. So I'll talk about that. So hopefully next time.
I've got a plan. Why don't you stop knitting on the Ricky hat and start knitting on the socks?
Isn't he awful? Well, clearly that's what I'm going to have to do now because you've put that enormous pressure on me to do it. And that's the yarn in the cake. Such pretty colours.
Me and Benjamin Crudwick are going to be a posse.
Lovely.
He says he's good with lassos. I nearly said he's good with whips. But no, that would work. Works in progress.
Oh, right.
There you go. Perfecto.
Oh, and I made myself a little bag. Oh, that's what I'm using for the contrast as well. I think I showed you that last time, but I've just wound off a little ball of it. It's the West Yorkshire Spinners. Ooh, another exciting thing to talk about. Cardamom colourway in the solids, so that's what I'm going to use for the heels. But I made myself a little bag. You might recognise the fabric. I kept, when I did the Italy bags, if you remember way back when, it seems a long time ago.
They were great.
Yeah, when I made the Italy bags, I kept a little piece of the fabric for myself because at the time I didn't make myself one because I was just, sewing for the shop. And I just suddenly thought the other day, do you know what? I'm going to use that fabric and make myself a little bag. So I did a drawstring, but I did it slightly different way. I put the drawstringy thing at the top here as a separate little add-on, and I really like that style. I looked around because I was kind of not happy with the drawstrings I was making. I don't know why. So I kind of looked around on Etsy and Pinterest and places like that just for bags that people had made, just to give me an idea on how else I could put the drawstring in. And I saw a few that had got that method of like adding in a separate piece of fabric at the top and then just running it through. And I found that really good, and it's much simpler than the method I was using. I found it much quicker and much simpler. And I really love the little bag that it made. The drawstring's not the right colour, it's the only ribbon I had, so I need to get some blue or some green. So I love that little bag. So that's that one. And I'm knitting that on 2.5mm DPNs. Why are you smiling like that?
I got a bit confused.
Why? What on? Oh, for heaven's sake. You've done loads of pearls.
Yeah, well, Kay will show me once, and then...
I've shown you more than once.
No, but this time...
I have absolutely
But I've never
shown
actually
you more than
tried.
once.
I've never attempted. Kay will show me once.
We're going to do live tinking, people.
And I will... this is pearl tinking.
Well, it's not any different, really. Right, you need to keep your yarn in your right hand, as you normally do. And there's the stitch below. Do you see the bump?
Yes.
It's those we need
This
to
is
go
coming
back.
back to me.
Right, so we just go in like that.
Yes.
No, sorry, that's twisting it. In like that.
Okay. Forwards ways. And off. I'm done. I can do it.
Like that, like that.
Yes.
Right, carry on. But it's your turn to show a project.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just going to do the first time ever in my life. I'm going to pull that off.
Yeah, push that off. No, you need to push your stitches. Don't
sorry.
like that.
Sorry.
Push these up to the end.
Okay. I shall show everyone the project now. That's so cool. How exciting is that? That's the first time I've ever done a pearl tink. It's the first time I've ever done a pearl tink Hickman. That's what I'm going to call them from now.
Sounded weird.
A PTH. That's what that is.
That's what I have to live with.
So yeah, it is the usual. It is this year's Cowl of Doom, although I'm loving making this.
Oh, look at that, it's lovely.
And I would be making a lot more progress had I not been caught up on other things as well.
You should just get on and knit it.
Yeah. I know, yeah. For me, what I love about this is how much it looks like the one Sarah Hepworth made.
She's never finished it.
I think she has.
Has she finished? Have you finished it, Sarah?
And it looks. She's made it for Rick.
Isn't it slightly darker grey? I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, it looks. So that the only two. Are you aware of any other?
No.
That are in existence?
One person did ask me. I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry, but Sarah's the only other person I know that's done a scarf.
Right. I'm feeling the need. I'm obviously getting close now to casting off my handbrake cowl for you.
Yeah.
And I just, but there's those. Do you think I'm going to like those hat patterns? The new hat that.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Well, I think so.
Well, there's a new hat, and it's coming any moment. But for now, I think we should find out what else is on your needles.
I finished one of my lovely pink socks. There it is. Da, da, da. So this is the fondant fibre spangle. Oh, and look at my bag. Looky, Mary Poppins. This is, I think I said last time I was doing a swap with Anne from Little Skein, and mine came, and I love it. And inside it's got pink sugar packets. Can you see? How cute is that?
It's the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Tinking.
I love this.
Well, try not to do it too often.
No.
You little tinker. So I love this bag. Thank you, Anne. And she's got hers now as well. So that was such a fun thing to do. So I finished the one sock. I haven't cast on the second one. I've broken my sock rule in that the second I cast off one, I cast on the other immediately, and I haven't done that. So obviously it's now languished for a few days. It's not good. So it's the Spangle Gold, Superwash Merino, Nylon and Stellina in the vintage Tulle.
Tulle.
And there it is in all its gloriness. Gloriness, is that a word?
Well, isn't it?
Lovely, beautiful.
I don't think it is a word.
And the pattern that I've used the Hermione's Everyday sort of template, except I've just done a slip stitch heel and not the Eye of Partridge for this one. But the pattern I put in, what I did was I knit 3 rows, and then on the 4th row I knit 2, purl 2. I then knit 3 rows again, and then I purl 2, knit 2. So it offsets those little bumps, and I think it looks really pretty. It just adds a bit of interest without taking away from the beautiful yarn. So that's one done and one to go. So I doubt very much I'll get that done before we go away.
Why is that?
Because I haven't cast it on yet.
Oh no.
But these ones fit really nice, and these I've done on 2.5, so I think I'm just going to stick to 2.5s and just stop having this like battle with myself. So that's those.
Is it me?
What's on your needles? I can put this on a blocker.
Nice.
I can put you a bit of. I was going to say it, bit of that yarn.
Okay. Okay, go on then.
Right, hang on, I need to work this out. Wait a sec.
It goes on the top, doesn't it?
Yes, but I need to do that.
So it goes all the way up?
Yes.
Wow.
Da, da, da. Look. That's cute.
Yeah. I just think we need to make our peace with the fact that I'm not saying what this is.
Why are we not? Well,
we are English.
Sake. It's just the name of a bird.
I don't say...
James.
Don't say words like that. Why is it though? I mean, it is funny. What is it that makes that problem?
I don't think it's a particularly rude word. It's just it makes people giggle. Bryony laughs her head off whenever we say it. It's the Bluetooth. I'm just going to say it. What? You know?
I might bleep that.
That's the name. That's the name of the bird.
Shall I bleep it? That might be really funny. That's it from now on.
And that leads us on. It's West Yorkshire Spinners, as you know.
It is. And I'm getting close to the heel flap, aren't I?
Yes, I can't remember how many rows you do. I think it's 20. I'll have to check.
Well, I've not done another sock yet, so I suppose you can decide how much you want.
I can, but normally that's usually what I go with for a DK weight sock.
Right. So yeah, I'm about to start the heel flap, and I'm very excited about that.
And you're going to do... Oh, you normally do the heel flap anyway, don't you? It's the turn. It's the heel turn you don't normally do.
I'm going to need a darkened room, case tutorials.
I hope it's not too dark.
With a little spotlight on my knitting. And your tutorial and everything will be fine. I'm going to do it late at night when everyone's in bed.
Well, I won't be helping you then.
Well, no, that's why I need to do it. You know, I need to just do it.
It's
like
not
swimming.
Difficult.
Sink or swim, baby.
It's not difficult.
No, I know. And you've proved that.
What, because I can do it?
No. If you can do it,
but
anyone can do it.
But we were talking, so it's the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, obviously. It's the Blueface Leicester DK prints. And I went on Raveldy.
It's a new site.
I went on Raveldy.
Come and check us out.
Went on Raveldy a couple of days ago, and I get friended a lot by people on Ravelry, and I tend to friend everybody back. I'll only not friend you back if your Ravelry page is completely blank, if there's nothing on it. But I got friended by...
That's not because you don't like people who have no projects.
It's because I don't know anything about you.
That's okay.
And
if you have no projects, I'm not your friend.
No, it's just because I don't know anything about you, and...
We try to be very...
I'm just, you've got to be...
You do.
A little bit cautious, haven't you, I guess, in this internet world. But no, I got friended by West Yorkshire Spinners on Ravelry. And I went running into your office and I was like, West Yorkshire Spinners have just friended me on Ravelry. So I immediately friended them back. And then a few minutes later, I got a message from somebody at West Yorkshire Spinners thanking us for talking about their yarn so much on the podcast. And they'd been watching the podcast in the office and were really enjoying it. And they wanted to send us a little thank you package. And could I let them know our details? So I was like, I can't email them straight away. That'll just be too keen, won't it? I'll be like,
so she waited 15 seconds.
So I waited about a minute, and then I emailed the lady who'd sent me the message with our details. And obviously, I was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe you know who we are. I'm just, I was just kind of blown away. And she was really sweet. She messaged me back and said that they're bringing out a new range in the autumn, and they're going to send us a package. So. New range! How exciting!
My question is, will there be any risque words in that new range?
Yeah, that'd be fun though, wouldn't it?
Because if there isn't, it's just not right.
It's not right.
It's just not cricket.
No, it's not. Quite like cricket, I've discovered.
It's very nice.
So
very English.
That was our little West Yorkshire Spinners.
Is it time to find out what else is on your needles?
Okay, I've only got one yes, one more thing actually.
Wow. Cool.
And it's something I've showed several times before, but
Okay.
I will show again. Let me just pop my blocker over there.
Okay, Jones.
That's your...
What's on your needles?
Here, that's yours.
She's got these great white jeans on today.
Oh,
They're very, very nice.
I'm highly uncomfortable. So do you know we're having a party, aren't we, in October, our Star Wars party for Dan's 40th and Bryony's 10th and our 10th wedding anniversary. And I'm going as... Who am I going as? Princess Amidala or...
I don't know. It's up to you.
It's a combination of the two. One of the costumes that Princess Amidala wears, it's
You're
basically...
going as Princess Amidala?
Yeah, but also Princess Leia wears a whole white thing as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, but go Princess... She's going... No,
but I'm going Princess Amidala.
You're going Princess Amidala when they go back and have the Battle of Naboo.
She's basically in an all-white outfit. So it's like white. It's white or cream. You know, white trousers, this white top with like sort of bracelet things up here and a gun on and everything, and like these big boots. So that's what...
we have the boots.
We've got the boots, yeah. I got some Uggs, didn't I? I got some cream
that's
Uggs.
going... But that's now going Leia on Hoth.
No, but that's what she wears. I've seen her costume. She wears these boots like that.
Oh, right, okay.
I've seen it.
Right, okay.
So maybe it's a throwback to Leia.
Oh, it is. It is. Absolutely is.
So maybe that's why they've done that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was in Sainsbury's yesterday. Gosh, this is a very kind of tangenty episode, isn't it?
Mm.
I was in Sainsbury's yesterday and I really like their boot cut. Is it called bootleg? Jean bootleg is the cut, isn't it? Yeah. Do you know where you get that? They're fitted through the legs and then a wider at the bottom. Bootleg. And I went in to buy another pair of jeans and they had some white ones. I thought, oh, I'm going to get them now because I'm never going to find white jeans in October, I'm sure.
No.
So I bought some and I thought, oh, I'll just try them on today, and I just think they're way too tight.
I do.
They're comfortable, but you know what the styles are at the minute? They're all like these skinny things. I'm not as... skinny leg. I don't have skinny legs for starters. But anyway, I've got them on just to give them a
run in.
A run in.
Yes. What else is on your needles?
Right, okay. Is my blanket. I just thought I'd show you this again because I've added a few more squares, and the ones... Oh, I'm dropping everything. The ones I've added in, I've put in some of the Outlander colours. Oh, and I wanted to just talk about those needles as well. That's why I put those there. So I started adding the... What's that?
I tinked.
Again?
No.
Going wrong
I just
on
did it
purpose?
once. No, I just did it once.
Oh, right.
I'm so pleased.
So I started adding in the Outlander colours, and I just wanted to show them to you because I think they're coming out super pretty. I'm just going to pop my tea up there because I don't trust myself not to dunk my blanket in there. I can't remember exactly where I got up to. If you remember, I'm doing 2 rows together. This row here is the British row, and this row is, is just, I think they're all American now. I say that actually. Well, the people they've come from are from America, and they probably all are American yarns. That's quite cool. I might deliberately do an American row then, if I can think that they are all American. So these 3 squares here are 3 of the Outlander colourways in between my 2 fingers here. And I love this one in particular. And so from here to here, there are 3 Outlander colours, and I love those. And I think I might have added like a couple more along here too since the last podcast. And then the British row, I think I've added maybe these 4. And I love this brown. I put a picture of this on Instagram the other day saying how much I loved it, and I think brown is very underrated, isn't it? I don't know that a lot of people would say they're lovers of brown.
No.
Are you giggling? No.
I wasn't. I just nearly dropped a stitch.
Oh, right.
So that was like a... And then I saved it.
Right.
So everything was fine.
But I really love it, and it's prompted me to make a purchase, and I'll talk about that in Endy Bits. I haven't got it yet. It might come today, but I can talk about it. So I have done a bit of work on my blanket as well, and it's now, shall I stretch it out so you can see how, this is how wide it is. It's 25 squares across. So it goes from there. I'm trying to get it all in. There you go. So there's 25 squares across, and I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 complete rows, and I'm doing rows 6 and 7 at the minute.
You're at 6s and 7s.
I'm at 6s and 7s. I'm still working my way through that. And I wanted to just mention these needles that I've been using, and I've actually ordered some more last night because I really loved them.
All right.
They are, I think I've shown these before.
They're called DPNs.
They are DPNs.
I love DPNs.
But they're Nitpicks Sunstruck. So from what I can gather, it's the same, I think it's birch, it's Knit Pro over here. And I think it said these were birch as well. They're definitely not bamboo, I'm sure. And instead of being that kind of rainbowy colour, they're blonde. So I'll just show you. And they're lovely and pointy. Can you see how pointy they are? And the pale colour means that when you're knitting with dark wools in particular, it's just really easy to see your stitches. And the other thing that happens, when I first knit with them, I wasn't sure about them. I thought they were too grippy. But as you knit with them, it kind of polishes them. And I think we've said this before, that needles do take a bit of wearing in. And the more you knit with them, the lovelier they seem to have become. And they've now got, you can probably see the shine on them. They've now got this beautiful shine. I'm sure it's not going to transfer to the screen at all, but they are shiny. And they're just really lovely to work with. They're not widely available over here, Nitpicks, but I got mine from Great British Yarns online if you want to get some. And I did go on and order 2 more pairs last night before I mentioned it today, just in case there's a deluge of people ordering them, because there wasn't many pairs left.
That's not cricket. That's like those people who buy all the shares before they then release a story. Yeah, right.
I know. So these ones are 2.25s, and I'm using the 2.5s on something else at the moment. But I ordered, because I love them so much, I've ordered 2 more sets of the 2.5s. So I've got them for sock knitting. So I really love those. And I do prefer wood at the minute, wooden needles in general. I think it's easier on my hands than metal at the moment. Oh, look at that yarn.
What else is on my needles? It is, first of all, it doesn't smell so much.
It's not that one, it's the other one.
Yeah, no, I know that.
This one doesn't smell.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well, I know now.
That one just smells lovely and woolly and nice. And you tell
Well, first of all, what is this? Not the yarn.
The hat pattern is called Violet Waffles. It's free on Ravelry. I think I've got the patterns in one of those bags actually.
And Kay thinks I'm going to like it.
It's basically the blueberry waffle pattern but on a hat. So it's free pattern.
Will that look okay on a fella?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's just a broken rib.
Well, I do wear Crocs now.
You do. It'll be absolutely fine. This one is for me, and look at the yarn. Look at that. Oh my goodness. The colours are richer than that actually, than it looks on screen. How beautiful is that? And this is hand spun from the lovely Deb.
I think
I'm in love with Deb.
What's so special about this stuff, and the reason why it appeals to me so much, is how it feels when I'm working with it.
Yeah, you like the bits of thin sometimes that appear, and the thicker.
I think the fabric that you get off this is really good.
I love fabric you get from hand spun. I think it looks interesting, doesn't it? And looks more handmade, I think, because it's not so uniform.
It's just, I'd love to see a bakery bearing hand spun yarn.
I've knit a giraffe in hand spun yarn.
Oh, I must have to go and seek him out or her.
I've given it away.
Oh.
I gave it to your mum to give to somebody.
Oh, yes.
Can you remember?
Oh, it'll be being played
and
with by a
actually,
little
I've
one.
knit something recently in the exact yarn, so
That's so
I'll
sweet.
be able to show you.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So you always know what you're going to get when you get some of Deb's hand spun. It always feels...
She sent us a package, didn't she, recently, just out of the blue. She does this all the time. You know, she'll just send us this parcel and it'll arrive. And she'd said to me, I'd contacted her about something else, Deb, the day before. And then
you contacted her about your... Oh, sorry.
We're don't speak of it, Deb, do we? And she said, oh my gosh, I've just come back from the post office and I've sent you something.
We don't speak of what?
I can't talk about it. Mind your own beeswax.
Beeswax?
Yes.
It's a soap for washing wool.
Oh no, well that's what she sent us because I'd spoke about it, and so I expected the next day to get to get a bar of soap.
I meant to say to you, Deb, actually, I washed my face with it and I came out in this rash. I'm not happy.
Oh, I think you could. It's really natural product.
I didn't, by the way.
No, we didn't.
I didn't. That was a joke.
And she sent us 2 bars of her knitter's soap. There was the mahogany flavour, I was about to say, the mahogany scent, and it was like a tie. Was it called tie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, and the mahogany smells like
mahogany.
Woody. It's really lovely, and then the
like
tie,
a French polisher's.
Yeah, then the tie is like spicy, lemony, orangey, spicy sort of scent. It's lovely. But in with the parcel as well, she sent 2 skeins of handspun.
It's amazing. Thank you so much.
We were like, oh,
Walter.
Deb. So of course we had to cast on straight away, and this one that you're knitting with it's superwash merino and nylon. There's 256 metres, and the colourway is called Deep and Meaningful.
Sums me up.
So shall I hold it up? I don't think you did. So that's it so far. It's really, really pretty. So we decided we'd knit each other a hat out of the 2 skeins because one of them was a more girly colour, wasn't it? And the other one, I need to cut that. I did that in the car. That's why.
You should show.
It's over there.
No, it's not.
Oh, gosh, I'm going to have to hold it at arm's length. Deb, the yarn is beautiful.
She doesn't like the smell. I'm cool with it.
The smell, I don't know what it is. It was making me feel a bit sick, and that just sounds horrible when I say it like that, and I don't mean it to sound at all horrible. I'm just obviously sensitive to whatever this scent is, and it's like, it's a bit, I mean, Deb, you'll know what it is. It's the blue yarn, and it's so pretty, and it smells a bit like pear drops. That's the only way I can describe it.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and do you know what I did? I didn't notice it when I was winding it into a cake, and we went out and about, and I cast it on outside. So again, I didn't notice it because we were outside. I think it's gone off a bit actually. I think I'm hoping I might be all right with it. What I then did when I realised that the scent was kind of bothering me was I put it next to an open window for like 2 days to let the air blow through it, and then tried again, but I could still smell it. I didn't want to have to skein it back up and wash it, that was the thing. So I said to you, well, you'll just have to knit it. But I think, smelling it now, I think it has gone off quite a lot. I'm going to try just knitting with it now. That
smells like a lovely... This is making me think of a field.
No, it smells I think it smells like pear drops.
It may have done.
Deb, tell me what the scent is, because I've been driving myself bonkers trying to work out what the scent is.
I like it.
It's not actually as strong as it was, so I'm going to knit a bit now.
Nice.
So we're knitting the same hat. I just cast on more stitches for Dan.
Well, that'd be so great if you could knit with that, because then we would have...
I really want to, because I love it.
Yeah.
And I love, and this one is, it's BFL and nylon. And she said it may have a join, but I couldn't find one, Deb. And this colourway is Lagoon. So I'll show you that again. It's really, look at that. It's really beautiful.
Lagoon, that makes me think of that film, Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon.
That was with... What was that woman called who married Andre Agassi?
Brooke Shields.
Yeah.
I wonder why you're thinking of that. So I'm going to carry on. That's the pattern actually. You can see the little picture there. You can just about make it out. And I think it's really nice. It's totally manly look.
Yeah, it is. I could see Darren in that.
Yeah. So that's what we're both knitting for each other.
So I went to... We're done, aren't we?
I think we're done with what's on.
Ooh! Exciting time. It's time to ask someone, what's on your needles? Now, this person, she's only just got into podcasts recently, and she's properly hooked. Her son thinks I'm hilarious and that your voice is like music.
Mine?
Yes.
That's funny.
And she insists, if people want to know what she's knitting on, that her members of her family say, what's on your needles? So I thought it was time that she was actually asked by us what's on your needles.
Oh, that's nice.
Now she's been binge watching, so I don't know quite if she's up to this one yet. So it may be a few weeks before she sees this one. And I think I shouldn't say anything. I shouldn't sort of tag her in. I think it should be a nice surprise.
She can find it. Yeah.
So it's time, and you'll see as well why. Well, maybe let's see if you do see why I wanted to ask her.
Okay.
Apart from all the reasons I've already said. Classical girl, Deanna.
Oh, yes, I've messaged Deanna.
Have you?
Sent Deanna a message back, yeah.
What's on your needles?
I'm sure it's the same person.
She's from Greencastle.
Greencastle?
Yeah.
I really like your name. It makes me think of Deanna Durbin. Can you remember that actress from years? And you won't know who I'm talking about.
No idea.
Well, I used to watch like these really old films because Mum loves all these really old films. And Deanna Durbin was a very big actress back then. It makes me think of that.
So come and show us what's on your needles whenever you get to this episode. Maybe she's caught up and maybe we'll find out soon. But I've really enjoyed reading your message. And I'm so glad that her son thinks I'm hilarious. It'll wear off, I'm sure.
It will. Believe me, it will.
Do you know what? It took us so long to find where we're going for our favourite places to knit. I think it's time we let everyone have, after I tricked you at the start of the episode. It was just so disappointing that when we got on our favourite place to knit with our knitting and with our picnic, that typically it started to rain.
It did, and it wasn't predicted, was it?
It wasn't predicted, and it wasn't rain that you could cope with because we had raincoats on, and so...
It was windy, and it was very heavy showers,
Yeah.
so it soaked you straight away, didn't it?
But even still, you loved... Because the first time Kate's been, and I think we both agreed that whilst over the last 10 years of us being here, living in this part of the world, we've gone regularly to Eggleston. I think we'll probably go less there and more to Easby because it's closer and also it's just way more beautiful. So let's go there right now. And yeah, favourite places to knit, Easby Abbey. Welcome to Favourite Places to Knit. Yay! We've snuck in a rather sneaky little visit before we head off on our Roman adventure in our next episode here to St Agatha's Church in the village of Easby. It's absolutely stunning. This church was built in 1152 by Roald, who was the constable of Richmond Castle, which is just over that way. We actually took you there. I'll put up at the bottom of the screen now which episode it was, but it's a really great castle, and as we've covered a few times before on podcast episodes, what these local barons would do is they would support a local religious house, and that then would ensure their pathway into heaven. Now, what's really interesting about this particular site is that church there was built before a rather beautiful building which lies directly behind you right now, which I'm going to show you any second. And there's actually been found an 8th century cross on this site. So prior to 1152, the Anglo-Saxons had actually formed a church directly on this site. So
what we're at is an unbelievably sacred and religious place, because round about 750 AD a church was formed here. In 1152 the Normans had obviously arrived in 1066, and then they're spreading across the country. They brought with them many different monastic houses, and what those monastic houses did was form new monasteries, but also welcome in established religious sites. This was one of those religious sites, and so 750 the first church was formed, and today that church is still in practice. It's absolutely beautiful, and we'll try and get some pictures of it to show you a little bit of the church there, but what I want to show you now is what's lying right behind you. Get ready, it's rather beautiful.
Here is Easby Abbey. Now, Easby Abbey was initially consecrated as St Agatha's Abbey, and it's only been since it was dissolved that the name has been changed to Easby, because that's the name of the nearby village. And this really is the first site that you get, and what stunned us was how large this place is. It's bigger than Eggleston. I think the reason why it's not a chargeable entry, e.g. you can get in for free, is just because it's so far out of the way. Look, there's the girls. We found a lovely spot, and do you know what? Right at that moment, it really was a nice day. The sun was out and it was fairly warm, but then it all changed and the girls went back to the car. This is one of the views looking up the side of the refectory where they used to eat, and that's the window in the refectory. Just how stunning would that have been with the glass in? And look at that, there's a niche where food used to be stored prior to it being served.
The entire monastic complex would have been surrounded by a really high wall, keeping the outside out and the canons their privacy. And in 1478 a new visitor walked up this path, and his name was Richard Redman. Now Richard Redman was effectively the area manager, they had them back then, for all the pre-monastration abbeys. And he arrived here in 1478, and I've really focused on him because he kept absolutely brilliant records of all his visits. So we're going to mention one or two of those records as we explore the Abbey. But here we are in the grounds of St Agatha's. Behind me there is the infirmary, and that's also where the abbot used to have some lodgings. Over here is what's left of the church, and then what we see over there is the best remains of the abbey, which is the refectory on the left, and then on the right hand side is the dormitory and also the guest quarters where Richard would have made his way when he arrived here in 1478.
Richard would have made his way down the path and headed straight for that building at the end of the path that you can see there. That was the dormitory and also the guest quarters. Now, on one of Richard's visits, he left a note for the abbot, and the note said that brothers were to make sure that they went to bed fully clothed. Basically, it was rather warm, and some were going to bed in not too much, and other members of the brethren were waking up and having a bit of a shock. So Richard Redman left a note for the abbot at the time to make sure that brothers went to bed with their full woolen outfits on, which would have been rather warm.
It was a short walk from the dormitories, the guest quarters, into the refectory, which I'm standing in now, and it's probably the best preserved part of the abbey. Now, down here was where a lot of the food was prepared. There's also kitchens out behind you as well. But once the food was prepared, it would have been taken up these steps up to the second floor level and then out into the area where the brothers were eating above. And what I love is you can see some of the storage hatches that would have been used for cutlery and probably food as well as it was being served out. Richard Redman, when he arrived on one of his visits, found that brothers were undertaking dissolute conversation at mealtimes. I wonder what they were talking about. Maybe it was John Nym, who'd just been accused of incontinence with local widow Elizabeth Wales. Let's find out some more about that. In 1488, Richard Redman arrived here at St Agatha's to find a full-blown controversy taking place. The community had chosen to accuse one of its brethren, John Nym, of the foulest depravity with a local widow, Elizabeth Wales. Richard immediately called a trial to take place with evidence and witnesses, just like you find in a court, and it took place here in the absolutely beautiful chapter house. Now, John was actually found completely innocent, and in 1494 he was made abbot. And if you read some of the historical documents that relate to St Agatha's, it's actually that accusation and the impression that he made on Richard Redman that led to him being promoted and ending up being in charge of this whole place. Here we are within the Abbey church, and unfortunately little remains of the church today, and that is actually because when the Abbey was dissolved, and this is the same in all abbeys, it was normally the church that was the focus of the destruction, because that was obviously the centre of the community. But here we are within the Abbey, and this is the oldest part. This is 11th century, so this was built, is one of the very first buildings that was built around the same time or just after St Agatha's church. Now, not a lot remains, but what does remain is some of the original floor slabs. So these have been here since this church was initially built. Now, around about 1300, the church was extended, and what they put on was the choir, which we see down here. And there we see Kay having a little knit in the choir. Now, what she's actually sat in, that is a tomb niche, and that is a tomb niche for the Le Scrope family, and the Le Scrope family built Bolton Castle. And Bolton Castle is probably the biggest castle around this area, so they were very, very important people. And what we also see down here is the remains of the choir, and actually at the top of the choir there are remains of medieval paint, and I've not actually found any yet. I'm going to do my best to find some, but there's an unbelievably large amount of medieval paint, so let's try and find some if we can. Every abbey had an infirmary, and that's where I am now. I'm in the infirmary buildings, and that effectively was a monastery in its own right. It was designed to take care of the sick, but also it wasn't just there to take care of the sick, but also to take care of the retired brethren. Also as well, it would look after those fortunate enough to be accepted into the infirmary of the local community. So it was a very important part of the abbey buildings. And as I said a second ago, you would find an infirmary in every abbey anywhere that you would go in the world. Now, John Nym, he'd become abbot in 1494, and he was a very devout and religious man, and he didn't believe that his brothers should be warm. And so I think in 1496 it was, Richard Redman arrived for his visit, and he found over half of the brethren in the infirmary with flu and cold. And he actually set a missive then, and it was just amazing to find that in my research for doing this Favourite Places to Knit, that John Nym should allow any brethren, whenever they're cold, or specifically after they've eaten, to go to the calefactory, which is where there was always a fire, to get warm, to try and avoid everyone getting colds all the time. So, the church is behind me, the tomb niches that we saw earlier. The chapter house is here on my right. I just thought I'd take a moment just to tell you what happened after the dissolution of the monasteries. Unfortunately, St Agatha's was one of 4 monasteries in the whole country that was named by Henry VIII in a document that he sent to his general, the Duke of Norfolk, who he challenged with retribution, with dishing out retribution for the sacrilege of the Pilgrimage of Grace. He told the Duke of Norfolk to come here to St Agatha's to take the canons out from their abbey, to hang, draw and quarter them, and to hang them from the trees beyond. Now, we don't know if that happened, but the fact that they were named specifically, I would say it's a very high probability that the end came in a particularly grisly way. Whilst the end of life here at St Agatha's was for a very short time, particularly grisly, I think that the feeling of this place overall is one of immense tranquility and unbelievable beauty. And what I find astounding is, I've been here only twice now, but it's just empty. There's nobody here. It's a vast complex. It is as beautiful, in my opinion, as Revo or Fountains, but because it lays just a little bit out of the way, it remains, I don't know, it has a very special feeling, one that I know is going to make it one of our favourite places to come and knit. Now, after the dissolution, because there are no large houses around here, the place was just left to go to ruin, and not very much has changed. There's paintings done by Turner and one or two other really famous artists over the course of the last sort of 350 years, and the ruins look pretty much the same now as they did then. So in a way it's been locked in time. But what I love is, and I think that's what gives it its amazing feel, is that we've got St Agatha's Church still where people are going to worship, and I think that's what makes this place really special. So thank you so much for joining us for this very special Favourite Places to Knit, and we'll see you next time for Roman Adventures.
I loved that, although it was a little damp.
It was very damp. It was typically English summer day, I've got to say.
Did you notice the rain falling? If you didn't, go back and just have a little glance, because it is properly falling.
And it was the type of rain that really wet you through. That sounds ridiculous, but you know, some rain is not that wet.
Just sort of
I know
floats
what I mean.
around the place.
Yeah, but it really...
Others goes, damp.
Really into you.
It was damp rain. We then went on after that to our favourite sweet shop.
We did.
Got some nice sweets, which I ate all of.
Have you eaten them all?
Yeah, I ate them on that 6-hour drive.
Right.
I did a drive to a family do, and we actually did a special little behind the scenes for patrons in Lincoln, which was absolutely lovely. That was the positive bit of the trip. The negative bit of the trip was just the distance. Because it was 6 hours, and that's a long time. Although
it's a
for
long
our
way,
American cousins
actually.
and for our Australian cousins.
Well, when you say 6 hours, it was 3 hours there, 3 hours back.
Yeah, but also as well, we were shocked, weren't we? Was it Sweden where Kevin MacLeod went on that programme?
Yes.
It was, and he had hours and hours journey on the train, and we were like, that can't be Sweden. We had no idea how big Sweden was.
No, it's huge, and he's done this series on people who have like left their city life and just
it's
gone.
It's a Ben Fogle rip-off.
It is completely a Ben Fogle rip-off.
New Lives in the Wild.
A new series was last night. I recorded it.
Excellent.
But it visited people who have just ditched the rat race, as they say, and gone off to live in the middle of nowhere. And this particular couple were very north in Sweden. In this literally a log cabin in the woods, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was mad.
Yeah.
No electricity, obviously, no water. They just got their water from the river at the bottom. I think the nearest person was like 4 or 5 miles away.
They loved their huskies.
He had like over 50 huskies, and I think they made a bit of money, didn't they, from doing husky trips for tourists?
But they didn't need anyway.
No, because
they were very clever.
They lived on like £200 a month or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I want to know what's off Kay's needles, don't you? Kay Jones, what's off your needles? Because there's nothing off mine.
I have, are you ready for this? 4 finished objects.
Hold the phone.
Which is unbelievable, considering my Knitty Mojo this past week has been incredibly low.
Some might say you have 5 finished objects.
Absolutely. There are actually 5 items, but one of them is a pair.
Some might say 6.
Why?
There's a jumper down there.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, I think that's been pedantic.
A teeny tiny jumper. Oh, what's this?
But no, my Knitty Mojo's been very low. I don't know what's been going on. You're asking me what that is. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm saying it is an FO.
It is an FO.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, there isn't. That's part of...
Show us.
Right. I'll start with the smallest thing, shall I? And I'll work my way up. So on Sunday morning, I decided, having spoke to Dan on Saturday night, and I said, oh gosh, I don't know what's going on. I just not feeling inclined to knit on any of my projects. He said, well, why don't you just knock off something quick, kind of thing, just something really small and quick, and that might help. So Sunday morning I thought, I'm going to knit, I've been wanting to knit one of these for a while, and it's the little heart from the Gnome is Where the Heart Is pattern of Susan Claudino's. And I've knit the little gnome a few times, but never knit the heart. So I thought, I'll knit the heart. And I knit it out of some handspun. It's fondant fibre handspun. What are you laughing at?
Because that's all we knit.
That's all we knit with it. Are you bored of us going on about fondant fibre handspun?
No. To be fair, there is a fair amount throughout our podcast of W. Icebird.
That's who?
Westwood Spinner's Birdie.
So I knit this little heart. Is so cute. And this handspun is never ending, this skein of handspun. I've knit a giraffe from it. I've knit the Bonbon Bunny, which is another one of Susan's patterns, and I knit this little heart, and I've still got some left. I've still got enough to knit at least one more heart, if not two. But it's just these really pretty colours of like pinks and purples and like a pale limey, lemony sort of colour. And I just put a little hanging thing on it, and it hangs on. Bryony's got a pin board in her bedroom. She's very into drawing at the minute. She's upstairs drawing Harry Potter at the minute. And so we thought we'd get her a pin board for a room. So we got her, and she's filled it all up already. And I thought, I'll have that for your pin board. So that's hanging up with all her little drawings. So I did that. Really lovely pattern.
Well, that's just excellent. Oh, that look. No.
It does look a bit like boobies. The top of it looks.
Did you just say the B word?
I did say boobies, didn't I?
And you have a reputation for being a prude.
I do not. I don't know where that came from.
I know where it came from.
Right, the next thing, I don't know, did I show these partly done last time?
Yeah, I think so.
Did I? Right, okay. I finished a pair of mittens. I did these as part of a tutorial for the Patron group on DPNs, a little DPN tutorial. I thought, rather than just show you just a generic piece of knitting, a piece of nothing kind of thing, just to show you DPN knitting, I thought let's make something instead. So this pattern I've knit many times. It's Susie Rogers Reading Mitts, free pattern on Ravelry, and I knit this with Sublime Baby Cashmerino Silk DK. And it's beautiful.
That's a mouthful.
I know. I think it's actually Baby Merino Cashmere Silk DK, something like that. I know. You'd think they could come up with a better title. So there's a little mitts look. Oh, I think they came out lovely. Really pretty. So these have been claimed by Bryony, actually. She tried one on one day and she went, oh, they're nice, mummy.
She'll look like Nana.
And I knit the smallest size, which fit me, but I do have small hands. So I've got quite a bit of the yarn left, so I think I'm going to knit her a matching hat as well.
Oh.
Yeah, because she does love this yarn. Whenever I knit her hats, it's got to be out of this yarn because she thinks it's really soft. She likes things with silk in. She's obviously a girl of great taste. I know. She's like, oh, has it got silk in that, mummy? I'm like, yeah, it's got silk in. So that's those all finished and lovely.
Yeah, very nice.
And the colourway was Pinkaboo.
That's a good colourway.
Yeah, it's quite a cute name, isn't it? So that's number 2. Number 3, can you see her? Hello. I finished the Bakery Bear that again I was doing for a tutorial for the patrons, because I was asked loads of times, wasn't I? Can you show us how you put your bears together? Because it's the finishing, I think, isn't it, that's sometimes the trickiest part. So we've done that now. We've done a whole series, haven't we? It took a lot longer than we thought.
Yes.
But they're all done. So I finished the little Bakery Bear. Yay, she's all done. Bryony's named her Lavender Rose because she's obviously a lavender colour, and she thought the yarn for the jumper looked like roses, which I think it does actually.
Yeah.
Pink and red roses
Yeah.
with the green leaves.
Definitely.
But the yarn I used for the jumper, I used a little scrap of Dancing Dog Dye Works, lovely Michelle's yarn, and it's the waltz worsted, and the jumper normally I knit in a DK, and it has come out a tiny bit bigger than they normally would, but I think it's fine, you know. So if you want to use worsted, I would say, you know, it does work okay. And the colourway is Girl Cave Bag, the Girl Cave Bag colourway. Lovely Rista. And I've got a matching bag upstairs that I keep, by coincidence. I use it to keep all my kind of little bits and bobs for my bear making in it, the eyes and like threads and needles, and I also keep all my safety eyes in there, all the kind of little toy making things I keep in that bag. So yeah, she's all finished and done. I think she's coming away on holiday with us.
I'm sure she is.
Along with 5,000
She's going to have Roman adventures.
other teddies. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So she's all done. And then the last epic thing I have finished. Are you ready?
Is our new rug.
Well, it could well be. It's my farmhouse shawl. I finished it and it nearly broke me. And I think this is what has caused my dip in Knitty Mojo, because it was just, oh my gosh.
Make the most of it then, because there won't be another.
I don't know. I just really, really struggled with it towards the end. I mean, it's massive. Right, here we go. I know I've completely disappeared.
Hello.
I'm looking through the screen.
Hello.
Can you see how absolutely ginormous it is? And it is, look, this is, I'm holding the ends now. Oh, I'm not even holding the ends. I'm holding the ends there, and you can see how massive,
Okay,
even more than my wings.
No, hold it up. Watch this. Your shawls are ginormous.
Yeah, your buddy the elf. But it is huge. And what I did in the end, because I was so struggling to finish it with the pain it was caused, literally physical pain.
And mental pain.
And mental pain. At the end here, if you can see, I've finished with this garter section. The pattern actually had you do another stocking stitch section after it. And I just thought, you know what, I'm finishing it here. Not only because I'd just run out of every bit of energy, but also I think it looks more finished ending it like that, as opposed to having another stocking stitch section after it. It made more sense to me. So I finished it. It then took me another probably 3 hours to do the fringe. So you can see all the lovely fringe. And I put in, there is a contrast, I'll hold it up. Can you see the little contrast of purple in the edge there? So it took me 2 DVDs, because Bryony was watching a film on, I think that was Sunday afternoon I did this. So, I mean, I love it, but then again I say, you know what, obviously this is the only way that it can be worn as like a, and then I think I look a bit like a granny.
No.
Oh, right, okay.
Nice.
So I'm going to take it away with me and use it, you know, on an evening, just to have it around my shoulders.
Yeah.
Because I always feel chilly in holiday houses for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
That's nice.
So it is done. I used Cascade 220, and I used, including the fringe, it was about 3 skeins. So what's that? 2, 4, 6, 660 yards approximately of a worsted weight. So that's quite a lot for a great big shawl. And it was knit on 5mm needles.
You sort of look like you should be sat on a wagon train without.
Yeah, I know, you're right. Yeah,
Me and Benjamin Cruddock will have our posse, and you can sit in the wagon train with the girls.
Yeah, it's very kind of Little House on the Prairie, isn't it? Which is why I wanted to knit it. And I have blocked it as well, and that made it even bigger. Even though it's not superwash, it did still grow quite a lot. So, and when I say never again, I really mean it, because I just can't physically do it. And I think it was, you know, it's quite a weighty thing, you know, 3 skeins, it's like 300 grams, isn't it? And it was like the pushing of of the stitches, as you work in the hugely long rows, and then when you turn for your rows, lifting it up and turning it round and rearranging your stitches and all that kind of stuff that really, I was in agony. My shoulders for about 4 days were just killing me. So
is that all of what's off your needles?
Yes.
Well,
there won't ever be another week where there's 4 things.
I bet there is.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? But I did say, I think last week, I wanted to try and clear some projects off, didn't I? So
we were finishing one off before we started today. The bear.
Oh yeah, I just finished the bear this morning. So that's all done.
Can I ask someone what's off their needles?
You can.
I'm going to ask someone who came and introduced herself on the Welcome to the Bakery thread, and she came on to defend her team. She just watched the episode where I was being slightly critical of the Seattle Seahawks. So I really do apologise. I'm not critical of any American football team, actually. I love them all. There was a time when I could name the starting quarterback of every American football team and the backup, because I used to absolutely love it. Who remembers, actually Gloria from Buffalo, she sent me a message just the other day, and she was telling me she was from Buffalo, and that reminded me of the comeback that Buffalo had against Houston in the 90s with Frank Reich.
What were they, the Buffalo what?
Buffalo Bills, they still are.
Buffalo Bills, of course.
They're going to be an interesting team next season. They've got a bit of a quarterback problem, but the rest of the team looks really good. But I'm an age-old lover of American football. So, I mean, Seattle Seahawks, what was the name? Rick Myra. I remember Rick Myra, and he was going to be the answer to everything, and of course he wasn't. So I'm needing to say sorry to this person, because I never want anyone to have to come on to defend their team, because I love them all. So this person, she has a great Rav name, and I have to check it because it's long. Towel and washcloth. What's off your needles? She is, of course, from Seattle. Her name is Jessie, and she's very cool. Who remembers Jessie by Joshua Caddison? Jessie paints a picture about how it's going to be. Right now, do you not know that song?
No, I don't think so.
I should download it and we shall listen to it. It's a lovely song. So Jessie, I shall always think now of that song whenever I think of you. What's off your needles? And sorry for offending the Seattle Seahawks. Hey, I forgot something.
What?
There's another quick little...
nothing to knit on. I need to get something. Go on, I'm listening.
There's another... Well, you can get it in a second. There's another quick little bit of favourite places to knit. So let's head back right now and finish off.
Hello Dan and Kay, mostly Dan. I am rising to your challenge, and here I am doing a special edition of your favourite places to knit outside 9303 Rosendale Avenue in California. You can see behind me, that is Marty McFly's house from Back to the Future, and here I am doing an absolute best knit in the very location that you challenged me to get to. We took the freeway out of Hollywood, where we're staying at the moment, and I brought my knitting. This is my piano scarf that I've talked about before, and Dan, this is just for you. I hope you enjoy it, and here's Marty McFly's house.
Oh my gosh. How amazing is that?
Can you believe that? I about fell off the floor yesterday when Dan showed me that.
It takes a lot to impress Mrs. Jones. And Nathan, you did.
That's true.
You were...
I was properly gobsmacked, as we say in England. Unbelievable. I just thought, I thought, what's he doing? He sat on the curb on the road. I thought, is he mad? And then when it panned back, I just went, oh. I knew straight away before he'd said it where he was.
It was... I sent Nathan a message that he knows how much that meant to us.
And I meant to as well, but I think I was that much in shock that I...
As I think you're all aware, I grew up with that film. I love Star Wars, but Back to the Future is my favourite film by a country mile.
Yeah.
And I saw it when I was 10 in 1985. I went to the cinema at least 10 times to see it. I was in the choir at the Minster School at the time, and my mum would let us walk from the Minster to the cinema, go in, and then she'd pick us up from the cinema.
Oh right, gosh, at 10.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And then obviously I've watched it throughout my life, and then Bryony, as soon as we put it on for her, she was very young. She just loved it.
Loves it.
And
we watch one or other of them.
Pretty much once a week.
Most weeks we'll have one or other one on.
Bryony's birthday is, of course, in October, and my birthday's in October. That's when the film came out. That's when Back to the Future days this year. So the links are just huge. And Nathan going was the next best thing to us being there.
It was unbelievable that he did that. I'm talking to you now, Nathan, because I know you do watch, and I just couldn't believe he'd done that. I couldn't believe it. I said to you, why has he done that? Why? I was so...
Well, yeah,
it's unbelievable. You know.
How it came about was just an off-the-cuff silly remark from me, like so many things in life. Yeah. And he said, "Oh, I'm on the way to LA. You know, can anyone recommend any good things to do?" And I said, "Yes, I can. You need to go to Marty McFly's house, sit outside and knit." And of course, it was an out-and-out joke. Yeah. So I sent him a message, and he sent me one back, and it was really sweet. He actually said that it turned out to be probably their most memorable day on the holiday, because it got them driving, and they went up, and he said it all came flooding back, you know, from when the film came out, and because we're of a similar age.
You are, I think he's just a year older.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Nathan.
And that
honestly,
was also
it really touched us. And after I'd watched it, I said, "You've got to show this to Bryony."
Well, go look at my Instagram feed and you'll see Bryony's reaction.
Yes, and I went back in the living room, and Bryony went in his office, and I could just hear her going, like this. And she's going, she couldn't believe it, could she?
But that set us thinking.
And then she said, "Do you think he still lives there? Do you think Marty McFly still lives there?"
Yes.
She was so sweet.
Of course. That set us thinking. You said something that was really cool.
Did I?
Yeah, a challenge.
That's a rare thing.
About...
Yes, I said, why not say to people, anybody that lives, and Sally, I know you live very close to these places, people who live, you know, in California, and specifically close to the filming locations, like the shopping mall, and there's that long road, isn't there, where he hides the car at the beginning.
Yeah.
And what other key sort of things are there?
There is the place, the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. That would be amazing. The school.
The school's a real school,
which they
isn't
used.
it?
Doc's house from Back to the Future 2. That would be amazing.
Right.
So Doc's big posh house. That's a real house. Is that not a real house
in number 1 then, where he lived?
I don't think. What is real is the Burger King that Marty roller skates out of. What would be so cool would be, you know, go and film yourself knitting there. Yeah. Send them to us, and we'll make it part of the show, baby.
We'll put them in the podcast. Yeah, that would be just fantastic, because it's highly unlikely that we will get.
One day we will get there.
One day, yeah. But
at the moment, anxiety hits us both too hard with regards to getting on a plane.
Yeah.
And do you know what? And I said this to Nathan, actually, we're just happy being here in our little house and just doing what we do, and you know, all of us together.
But that would be amazing, and I'm sure, has Sally sent us a picture of the shopping mall? I think she has. So. I think you have, Sally. Didn't you send a picture when you were driving somewhere? You took a picture out of the window. I'm sure you did. But you know, get out there if you live close by.
Nathan?
Send us some footage. Absolutely, Nathan. We are sending kisses and hugs, and that was just amazing.
It's time for what's on your bookshelf.
Oh gosh!
And I'll start, because you've got 1 book and I've got 2.
Cool.
So I finished the Western book, and it's really good. So Jeff Gwynne, and I can't remember what it was called. But
The Last Gunfight.
Thank you. She's a genius.
As the quiz has shown.
Yes. So I've now moved on to Culloden and the Last Klansman. There's lots of lasts in the book, so
there is.
So this is a book all about Jimmy Stewart.
Why?
It's James Stewart, the name of the guy.
Oh, really? I'm going to say.
I was going to try and do an impression then, but I'm so not.
Oh, no, don't do that.
This is all about James Stewart. It's all about the run-up to the Battle of Culloden, what led to that point, and also what came after. It fits very nicely with an awful lot of the history that we've looked at over the course of all our episodes, because a lot of the stories, I mean, you find this, we live on a very small island, and so when you get up to the sort of higher echelons of monarchy and lords and ladies, everything is interlinked. So the Stuart family, which is what this is all about, Bonnie Prince Charlie was the supposed Stuart king. You can link it right the way back through. So it's really super interesting for someone like me. It is at the moment a fairly stale read. You have to use your imagination.
Very sort of facts and figures.
It is a bit facts and figurey, and it's slightly on the historical tough book side.
Right.
But that may change as I get further and further into it. I'm interested because I'm interested in the story, and I'm also really interested in the change of what it was like before Culloden and how everyone spoke Gaelic, and that's just the way it was. And then after Culloden and the wiping out of so many of the clans, that changed. I was also super interested in the fact that there were plenty of Scottish people. I assumed quite wrongly that the Scots would have all been against English rule, and that the English would have gone in and fought and forced them into it, but that's not how it was at all. There was plenty of Scots who absolutely wanted English rule. So it's a very, very interesting book if you're interested in this. So maybe if you've watched our favourite
Outlander. You see, I've kind of blanked all the last 2 episodes out of my mind, and I'm just remembering the good portions. I think that's the thing to do.
Oh, it is. A bit like pregnancy.
Okay, it's very random.
So if you want more history of Scotland and you've watched Outlander and you want some proper hard facts and figures, read that book. If you're looking for a lovely book about Scotland, I probably wouldn't read that book. But stay tuned over the coming episodes because maybe it will all change. What's on your bookshelf, Kay Jones?
Well, I've started reading Barbara Erskine.
It's Erskine.
I say it to wind you up.
Is it nice or nice?
The biscuit. People, everybody in the UK, do you know a nice biscuit? The biscuits that are called nice. Would you say nice or would you say niece? I don't know. Now you see, I want to now say niece. I don't know.
I actually think they are nice.
Do you think it's niece? I think that's what I want to say now.
Can't remember if we've told you this before. Don't think we have. Many years ago, someone's coming round for tea. I'm in the shops. Kay sends me a text and it says, "Get some nice biscuits." NICE biscuits. So I did. I got some nice biscuits, and I
wanted him. And for those people who don't know what this biscuit is, I've got some up there.
Do you know if these biscuits are from France? Do you know? Let's put this
Can
to bed
see?
once and for all, people. We can do this. The power of the bakery bears.
I want to eat it now. And it's.
I want to eat it.
It's a very plain biscuit, but it's got a coconutty sort of flavour, and it's got a sugar on the top. But Bryony really likes them, and I love them.
So have they seen the niece bit?
Yeah, you can see it there. Look, you see it says nice or niece.
Or maybe Nikkei.
You see, you all want a packet of these now, don't you, with your cup of tea? Somebody said they weren't very good for dunking, but if you give them just a quick dunk,
yes,
they won't disintegrate.
Yes.
So you can't just leave them in like that.
There is a technique to dunking.
You just have to go dunk.
You need to know your biscuit when you're dunking. I would argue that these are excellent for dunking.
Yeah, and you can only dunk in proper, English breakfast tea type tea.
Yeah, I wouldn't dunk it in a peppermint.
No.
Or a jasmine with blackcurrant infusion.
So, nice or nice?
Please, yeah, tell us. Especially any French viewers. Yes. Tell us about your book.
Right, so it's Lady of Hay. I've showed it before when I bought it.
Who's it by?
Barbara Erskine.
Please continue.
I shall carry on.
Reader, please carry on.
Please carry on ridiculing me. And I've only just started it. And like I said, I have read it before, but it's got to be... How long have we been together? 12 years.
Yeah.
It's got to be like 15 plus years since I've read this book. So although now I've started reading it, I can kind of remember when I've read it. I can't remember what's coming next, if you know what I mean, because it's
So you start being like, oh.
I'm like, oh,
that's cool, yeah.
Yes, I remember that character. Oh, yeah, that's what happens. So I'm...
Oh, well, watch him, lady.
I'm 18 pages in, I'm hardly... Because I went to bed last night and I read a page and I fell asleep.
Is set around King John time?
Yes, it's it's modern day, and then obviously what happens is she gets hypnotised and she regresses back to a former life where she's the Lady of Hay, which is in 15 something, I think, from memory.
It's a bit reminiscent of Outlander, isn't it?
I said that when we were watching Outlander. That's what made me buy it, because it made me think of this book. And this was written over 25 years ago now. So I'm really, even though I've only read 18 pages, I know I'm going to enjoy it because I have read it before and enjoyed it. So this will be coming away on holiday with me, although the size of the book, I'm kind of wishing I'd put it on my Kindle now.
Do you know what? I've totally fallen out of love with my Kindle.
I haven't read on my Kindle for a good while. I do prefer a book.
Doesn't go in the same way.
No, you're right.
I don't retain it.
Doesn't feel this, I don't know, there's something about hearing a book and the smell of a book.
I'm convinced that there's receptive parts of your brain that don't turn on when...
I don't think it's just a visual thing with a book, is it? It's not just reading the words, it's the whole experience of holding a physical book, I think.
It's not to say Kindles aren't useful at all. If I was going on a beach holiday and I was going to sit on a beach and I had limited study space, or
absolutely.
on a flight or anything like that, I would absolutely take my Kindle.
Yeah, and you took it in the hospital, didn't you?
Did.
And things like that.
Never read it once, but I took it.
Well, no, but for travel, I think it's brilliant. But like with this, is a big, it's a big, chunky, thick, epic book. You can't tell that from just having it on your Kindle. You don't get that feel. Whereas oh gosh, this is going to be a great book. And
that's weighty.
It's weighty, that book. So this will be coming away on holiday with me as my holiday read.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any more?
Nope. I want to eat this biscuit.
Robert Harris, the writer of Pompeii. Someone sent me a message recently, and I do apologise. It's just the other day. I can't remember who it was right now. Thank you so much for your message, and I messaged you straight back. You were recommending Pompeii to me, and Pompeii is excellent. And Pompeii started Robert Harris off down a Roman route, and this is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's better than any of the Conor Gilden books, better than any of the Simon Scarrow books. This is a proper adult read that is gripping, and everything about it is tremendous. It's all about Cicero. Cicero was a Roman scholar who eventually rose to be a tribune and a leader of Rome, and then met quite a grisly end thanks to Julius Caesar and Augustus. Specifically Augustus, actually. So Robert Harris was supposed to write 3 of these books, and I'm only aware of him writing 2. He hasn't got to the 3rd one yet, which I find intensely frustrating, because this book is so good, it sold very well. You've had the first 2 parts. Where's the 3rd part, please?
How long ago did you write the second?
Ages.
That's like the Clan of the Cave Bear lady. I can never pronounce her surname. But the gap between, especially the last book, was years and years and years.
And it isn't like... I think he's got bored with this subject.
Right.
I think he's on another kick at the moment, and he wants to get on with that.
It must be difficult, though, to force yourself to write something.
Absolutely, but I think when you start down a journey, you owe it to the readers.
True.
Because the second book is not the end.
And surely you would have mapped out the whole 3 books at the beginning, wouldn't you?
So, Robert, I know you watch. Please...
Can you imagine?
Please finish. But guys, read this book. I guarantee you will enjoy it.
Oh, Talia's running off now to get that.
She's on a full-on Tudor kick at the moment.
Oh, right, okay.
If we're talking Tudor books, I'll speak about this another day, but Catherine Swineford, Alison Weir, one of my favourite all time. I mean, that's not specifically Tudor. That's more Robin. That's more medieval.
Right.
Well, it is. It's slap bang medieval. All about John of Gaunt and Catherine Swineford. But they were the mother and father of the Tudor age. So that's why I still call that Tudor. So Catherine Swineford, great book. We'll talk about that another time. It's time for me to ask someone what's on their bookshelf.
Okay. Getting ahead of myself.
This is someone who has been on a massive back catalogue binge watch.
Oh.
I think she's caught up. She's super cool. I want to know why her Ravelry name is what it is. So as well as tell us what you're reading, also tell us why you're called this. But what's on your bookshelf? Bouncer DJ Wife.
Ah.
That is
I know that
Jessica
name.
from Wildemar.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
She's cool.
she follows me on Instagram, and I think you've been commenting a lot recently on my stuff. I remember, yeah.
She's really nice. She's really sweet. But why called Bouncer DJ Wife? My initials are DJ. But I'd love to know. But I also really, really want to know what is on your bookshelf. So please come and tell everyone. It's time for Andy Bits.
Cool.
Yesterday, I had a really pants day, and we don't need to worry about why. But the afternoon became the best afternoon ever.
I had a lovely afternoon, didn't we?
That was one of the best days ever. And I'm not going to go on some technology bashing rampage because, you know, we love our technology and we use it all the time. But do you know what? Sometimes, just thinking, Brian in particular, put down the iPad and get outside and go for a walk.
We just went for a walk out the door.
No plan, no where we're going to go, what we're going to do. And we just ended up walking for about 3.5 miles.
We did, and Bryony, I was worried about her, but she didn't really moan at all, did she?
2.5 miles in, she says, "Can we have a race?"
She had a little race.
Just
calm down.
But walking through beautiful fields.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was really lovely.
You get to realise, actually, when you step outside your back door without getting in the car, I do believe, if you really open your eyes, most places you can find something really beautiful.
I agree. And we just went for a walk through the woods, didn't we? And then
we're very lucky because we
by the river.
We live on the edge of it. So
through the park.
If we get out and if we walk, that's east. If we walk east, we get within 5-10 minutes. We're into woods and then down by a river. And we'd never been there in 10 years. We'd never been there, and it's beautiful. Endy Bits, please.
Endy Bits, right.
Our pre-Roman adventure Endy Bits.
I've not got that much, actually.
Next time we see people, we'll be sat in John Clayton's house.
Amazing.
Now that's amazing, and you will find out why.
We got a lovely parcel. Was it last week? Yes, I think it was last week. Totally unexpected. Just arrived through the door, and it was from lovely Carol on the Isle of Wight, Casnets. I'm sure she won't mind me saying. So I posted it on Instagram and everything. But she just sent this package for no reason at all, really, was it? It was just lovely, you know, and there was some yarn in it. There was a little bear for Bryony, which Carol, she has not put down, honestly. Some sweets and a tea towel.
Carol knows that firsthand because
there's been pictures of her.
A picture I posted when we were in Lincoln doing that behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And there was...
And it was so lovely. So thank you so much, Carol. And she put in some yarn, and it's local yarn to her, and it's 3 skeins of alpaca, and it's the undyed. It's the natural colours.
They go very well together.
They do go very well together.
That'd make a lovely sweater.
Yeah. Well, there's not enough for a sweater, darling, but
for a small person.
For a small person, and it's from Moorfields Alpaca in Brystone. It's 4-ply. Looks thicker than a 4-ply to me, that, Carol. It looks more like a sport, maybe. I mean, it's definitely a plump 4-ply, 100 grams, and it's the undyed colours. So I just thought, aren't they lovely together, those 3 colours? And I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I am a little bit sensitive to alpaca. However, you know, I will definitely find something to knit with them. You know, mittens would be fantastic because I wouldn't have a problem with mittens at all. It's just around my neck. So there will definitely become something lovely. So thank you so much for those. I'm going to put those down there. And then I'm saving the best till last. But I was knitting on my blanket the other night, and I was looking at what colour was coming next, and I thought, I could do with some yellow. Could I find any yellow in my... No.
Apart from that great yellow you dyed up.
Yes, well, I've used that before, and I was going to get some of that, but it was upstairs.
What did you use that? What did you dye that up with?
Proper acid dyes. Right. It's what are they called? Is it Jacquard acid dyes? I've got them upstairs. I haven't done any dyeing in ages. But yeah, I have got that yellow that I used to knit my socks, that gold. But that little mini skein was upstairs and I was downstairs, so clearly that was the challenge at that point, and it was easier to go online and order some yellow yarn. So I got one of these packs of the Knitting Goddess, and it's like a little gradient, 10 grams in each, so there's 70 grams altogether. And it's the 4-ply that they use for their kind of standard sock yarn. It's a sock yarn. It's a mix of BFL, other sort of British wool, and nylon as well. So I got, isn't that lovely? Colours are a little bit more vibrant than is showing there. And I got these from a new shop, a new online shop that's opened up. It's Brit Yarn, brityarn.co.uk, and the lady's name is Isla. That's who's actually written me a little note on the back, so I'm presuming it's Isla.
Nice name.
And a little stitch marker, and it's my favourite sort of stitch markers. You know, just the ones that are like a little jump ring with a bead on. They're my favourite sort. And it's got the bead is glued over the join as well, so there's no snagging at all, so I will definitely use that one. So they will go into my blanket, lovely yellows. And the service was excellent from Brit Yarn, so I definitely recommend it. And, you know, obviously as the name says, all the yarns are British, which I think is fantastic, you know. I think that's great that somebody's doing that. So we'll definitely recommend that shop. Hop on over and have a look. We've got some beautiful stuff. So that's my yellow loveliness. So the last lovely thing, if you remember last episode, I kind of had a little thing about the Harry Potter opal yarn, saying how I've looked everywhere and failed miserably to find it. And shortly after, it might have been the day after or a couple of days after, I got a message by someone to say, I've actually got double of 2 colourways in my stash and I'd be happy to send them to you. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So I said, of course I'll pay, you know, I'm happy to pay you. And she said, well, rather than that, why don't you just sew me up a little something and send it? So I said, of course, I'd love to do that. So I got the 2 skeins, and she should have, what day is it, Wednesday, should have them any day now. And it's lovely Amber, it's Yarn Hoarder that sent them to me. So I got the Harry colour and the Harry and Ron. So that one is Harry. Look at that, Harry Potter. Da, da, da. I love the colours. Look at the colours. So that one's Harry, and then I got Harry and Ron, which is blues and oranges. That one kind of reminds me of the other opal socks, the Van Gogh ones. The colours are different, but it's got a look of it. So fantastic. So I don't know if I'll be able to break into these quite yet. I think I've just got to hold on to them for a little bit and just have them. You know, I know that I've got them before I think, okay, I can now make socks. I feel brave enough. So Amber, thank you so much. And she sent me some little cards as well. I think these are so cute. Look, it says, this took me ages to knit, but I did it for you. How cool is that? And then on the back, you can write, you know, all the details of the project. So she sent me 2 little packs of those, and then some other smaller ones, which you can also attach to gifts. And these are really lovely. They've got like yarn on that side, and then on the back, it's like made for, made with, and you know, the details. So I think they're fantastic. It was a lovely little extra. Thank you so much, Amber. I know. Should we say? I saw that it was 1997 last night. Have a look at the number of people in our group on Ravelry, and it might have just tipped over by the time you look.
What's going to happen?
Well, I feel we need to do something. Maybe I'll dig out some yarn from my stash and do a drawing.
2,000 member giveaway, people.
There's 1,999 members at the moment.
Random number, yes?
Random number. We'll do a random number.
Random number, 2,000 member giveaway.
I shall go through my stash and pull out something beautiful to send to someone, so we'll do a random number. So we'll do that next episode then, yeah?
Sounds good to me.
Because we're bound to, please, you know, say let's. When I looked last night, it was 1997. I'm like, oh, is it going to go over 2,000? How cool. So yeah, next episode we'll do that. So I'll take a skein away with me on holiday, because we'll be at the holiday house, and we won't have any internet, will we? So we'll have to do a random number draw. Or maybe we'll just say to Brian, he'd pick a number between 1 and 2,000.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
1.
Yes, you might say 1. Well, it can't be 1, because that's probably, I don't know, would that be me?
Yeah. Oh, you won your own stat.
Well, my own, yeah.
Big announcement. Next episode is due out on the 7th of August, but it will not come out on the 7th of August.
No.
The next episode will come out on the 10th of August. So it won't be Friday the 7th, it will be Monday the 10th.
Because we don't get back until Friday the 7th.
Is that when we get back?
Yes.
Cool. So I need time to pull together what will be something utterly epic. We're staying in a house of a man who you will all know the name of if you saw the start of Our Own Adventure, a guy called John Clayton. Nice biscuit. And it's this just don't miss it. Seriously, don't miss it. It's going to be completely different to last year's holiday special. In fact, it's not even going to be called holiday special. It's just going to be our next episode. So it will have the usual format, the usual put together, but we will be sat in a historically massively significant place.
It's a lovely house.
And the stories we'll be able to tell you will be amazing. And the next episode of Knit and Forfeit. Come on.
Right.
Yes.
So I've got to be prepared before we go away then, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, what I would do is put the questions on notes.
I can't do it on the iPad. Can I just write them down?
Separate pages then. It can't be all on the same page.
No, I've got
Otherwise
cards. I've got some cards.
Whatever. But you mustn't allow me to get ahead of the game. I can't be thinking about question 4 and formulating
No,
the
I'll do
answer.
them
Cool.
on those index cards.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm old school.
Sounds like a plan. See you on the 10th of August.
That's it, I think, isn't it? Is that everything?
Let's say goodbye.
What, in some special way?
No.
Oh.
Well, no, we'll just turn it off.
No.
We won't say goodbye. See you on the 10th of August.
See you soon.
Bye.